Bom dia, boa tarde, boa noite, or whatever the case may be. My name is Marcus, and I am the host of the Black Brazil Today YouTube channel, as well as the blackbraziltoday.com blog, where I analyze Brazil from the perspective of race. In the late 1960s and 70s, a powerful cultural revolution swept across Brazil, led by young Black Brazilians in Brazil's two largest cities, Rio de Janeiro and Sao Paulo. Taking inspiration from the civil rights and Black Power movements going down in the United States at the time, young Afro-Brazilians found new ways to celebrate their Black identity through music, fashion, film, and dance. A new movement was born. This is the story of Brazil's Movimento Black. Although racial issues had long existed in Brazilian society, although the elite and government stance was to deny it, this period marked a shift where young Black Brazilians began to consciously and collectively embrace a Blackness that society always encouraged them to deny. The civil rights movement and the more radical Black Power movement in the United States had a profound influence on Brazil's Black community, particularly young people. Brazilian youth of African descent were moved by the images of Malcolm X, Martin Luther King Jr., and Angela Davis. They were electrified by the idea of self-empowerment, racial pride, and resistance to the daily oppression they endured. What they saw happening in the US resonated deeply with them, despite Brazil's constant declaration of the racial democracy myth. Brazil indoctrinated its population into believing all Brazilians were treated equal, even as it marginalized its Black population economically, socially, and culturally. Around this time, soul and funk music became essential tools of this rising consciousness. Famed American artists such as James Brown, whose anthem "Say It Loud, I'm Black and I'm Proud," was translated into Portuguese as "Diga em voz alta, sou negro, eu tenho orgulho." An anthem echoed across Black communities around the world, reaching Brazil through imported records, radio broadcasts, and eventually cover versions. To young Brazilians, American funk and soul offered a new rhythm that brought an energetic, assertive sound that celebrated Black life. It was a stark contrast to the dominant cultural narratives in Brazil that often promoted shame of African ancestry or made Blackness invisible or highly stereotyped. This cultural explosion brought on the legendary Bailes Black, massive dance parties that attracted tens of thousands of Black Brazilian youth, particularly in Rio de Janeiro neighborhoods such as Madureira, Maia, and parts of the North Zone, as well as in the city of Sao Paulo. Young Black Brazilians flocked to these bailes every weekend. These dances were not just parties, they were sites of identity formation for countless Brazilians, many of whom had denied being Black. Dancing to the sounds of James Brown, Curtis Mayfield, Marvin Gaye, and other American artists, as well as local bands that were creating their own style of soul and funk, often mixed with Brazilian samba, these young people found a place where their Blackness was not a source of shame, but pride. Accepting a Black identity in a country that for centuries had pressured Afro-Brazilians to desire whiteness was a radical and transformative transition. At the same time, Brazilian musicians began to incorporate American soul and funk into their own musical traditions, creating a unique new sound. Groups like Banda Black Hill, Gerson King Combo, Cassiano, and Hildon blended soul rhythms with Brazilian genres such as samba and Brazilian popular music. This musical fusion would lead to new musical creations, styles labeled samba soul or samba funk. While incorporating these American grooves, these sounds managed to simultaneously celebrate Afro-Brazilian heritage, all the while remaining fresh, modern, but distinctly Brazilian. Afro hairstyles became highly symbolic. Young Black Brazilians, previously conditioned to straighten their hair or at least shave it very close to the scalp to conform to Eurocentric beauty standards, began rocking their hair natural in large, round afros. For many who wore it, the afro was not just a hairstyle. It was a political and cultural statement, visually aligning themselves with the Black Power and Black Pride movements, thus rejecting centuries of racialized aesthetic standards. The afro became a crown, a visible statement of resistance, pride, and power. Another key component of this cultural awakening were the so-called noites de shaft, meaning shaft nights, where special film nights were held for Black audiences who got together to watch Blaxploitation films, especially imported from the United States. Films such as Shaft, Superfly, and Foxy Brown. These films depicted strong, stylish, and fearless Black protagonists, which were a counterpoint to the subservient or background roles typically assigned to Black characters in Brazil's mainstream media. Watching these films in large crowds helped young Black Brazilians imagine themselves as agents of their own lives and futures, further establishing a collective sense of pride and resistance. As such, the Movimento Black of Rio de Janeiro and Sao Paulo came to be seen as powerful cultural and political movements. It created a new Black youth culture among Black Brazilians, deeply influenced by African American struggles and cultural expressions, but adapted to address the specific realities of Brazil. Through music, dance, fashion, and cinema, young Afro-Brazilians carved out a space where they could celebrate their Blackness openly and proudly, a legacy whose influences reverberate strongly in Afro-Brazilian culture today, some 50 years later. By claiming their Blackness loudly and proudly, the generation of this cultural movement changed the face of Brazil forever. If you love this story, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more untold histories of Black Brazilians that inspire. With that said, I'm going to end this video here and request that you all come back and check out the next video that I post here at Black Brazil Today.